So let me piss in some people's oatmeal. Y'all like that picture right there, don't you? Bald-headed black man down there in Mexico, standing next to the Olmec head. Black man looking just like the Olmecs. That proof right there. That proof right there that we were here. We were already here. Oh well, damn. Damn. How goddamn Jose, how Felipe up here? Looking just like the damn Olmec. Lips and everything. Cranial, ridge, nose, everything looking just like the same goddamn Olmec that black man looked like. I'll be god dog. Shit. That looked like something that you find in China, ain't it? Nope. It's part of the Olmec culture as well. Look quite Asian. Look very Buddha-esque, don't he? And this Olmec statue right here, he downright looked like somebody from possibly Japan, Okinawa, or some other kind of Asiatic place as well. He don't look too much like a brother. And this Olmec looks straight up out of the shoguns in China, or the shoguns in Japan. You know what I'm talking about. Look like Chinese dude and all that stuff. Don't look nothing like them other big ass Olmec here, but that is found to be part of the Olmec culture as well. Well, that's just funny to me right there, but it's part of the Olmec. But show look like a little baby sumo wrestler. Look like a little baby sumo wrestler. Look at that nose. That nose don't look like that black Olmec head, does it? No, but it's part of the Olmec culture. And finally, this jade mask. If I didn't tell you that that was from the Olmec culture, what culture would you say that that was from? You would most likely give that to the Japanese culture. You wouldn't give that to the Olmecs. You wouldn't give that to African culture. You would give that to the Japanese culture. You might give it got some lips on them, but you're gonna pretty much look at them eyes, shape of the head, and you're gonna say that's straight up Japanese. But especially with the shoguns, you ever see the shogun outfit? Looks just like one of them shogun masks now, don't? So we like to do this thing where we look at some artifacts from an ancient culture and then we try to extrapolate that, oh, that looks like a person who nowadays look like this. And they're in a foreign land that is not the homeland of the people that we know of today. And so we create fantastical beliefs that, these people were always here. Well, how about this? How about by the time frame that the first Europeans started coming to the Americas, that the Americas had already had multiple cultures that had visited, multiple cultures that had stayed, and that they were just as much of a mixed bag of characters as any other place in the world may or may not have been, especially if you were involved with trade with other people in other places. This is why when you look at ancient Mediterranean cultures, they all have similarities, but there can be certain differences that you can definitely adapt to your own self. And there are those that you can't. Egypt reigned for thousands of years under the Kushite people, and then they reigned under the Ptolemies, and then they reigned under Rome. Those people were always trading with one another. Of course, the genomes changed. The people in the South were looking more Southern. The people in the North were looking a little mixed up. This happened throughout the Levant. This happened throughout Italy, throughout North Africa. People's genomes changed when they were introduced to new people. So when the Mali Empire, before Mansa Musa, I forgot his name, when he first voyaged out to come to the Americas and never returned, did he get there? Did he stay? Did his 300 ships filled with people influence the cultures of the Caribbean and influence the culture and the genome of the people in Mexico, modern day Mexico? Now, we know the Olmecs were long before he would have ever come. But what we do know is that people crossing the Pacific, South Pacific people crossing back and forth, seeking trade, never to conquer, but just seeking trade or even creating new homelands. The heads at Easter Islands, hearing about this ancient land of their ancestors, trekked out, discovered that, and then it's just not too far of a jump to South America. There are literally tribes in South America, groups of people, cities, where these people look more Japanese than they look like anything else. But they try to say that the Japanese people never made it to the Americas. Maybe they didn't come and conquer like some other people and stay, like a guest a guest in your house after 3 days, they start to stink. Maybe they didn't do that, but somebody stayed, somebody left behind. There's an ancient Chinese story of these people who crossed over during the Bering Straits 25,000 years ago. They crossed over the Bering Strait looking for the mythical Zai people. These were the Chinese people who had left 125,000 years ago and crossed over into the Bering Straits and had never been heard from again. So missionaries sought out to seek out the Zai people. And maybe those missionaries who never returned back to China 25,000 years ago, maybe they intermingled, maybe they stayed, maybe they became part of the culture. And this is why the indigenous peoples of the Americas, all of them, has such a diverse look. Even when the Europeans came, the ones on the East Coast did not look like the ones on the West Coast. The ones on the East Coast didn't look like the Caribbeans. The ones in the Caribbean didn't look like the ones down in South America. They all were different. So to claim that they were from Africa only is a misnomer. And please, 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 please. There is zero evidence that any humans, what we would call humans today, were part of Pangea and did not get separated and were always, always, always here. Pangea doesn't work at all. Please don't do that one because it doesn't work. The oldest human fossils in the Americas is way too young for that. So it doesn't work at all. I believe the oldest one is maybe 75,000 years old, but don't quote me on that one. But I know it's not as old as the oldest one found in China, the oldest one found in Southwest Asia, the oldest ones found in Africa. I know it's not as old as those. So yeah, for right now, the out of Africa theory is demonstrated as the most likely theory, which demonstrates Africans coming out of Southern Africa, South Saharan Africa into East Africa, migrating out of East Africa into the Levant, Europe, into Asia, and then migrating from Asia over to the Americas, and from the southern ports of Asia into Australia and the Pacific Islands, and then from the Pacific Islands, island hopping throughout that region and also reaching the Americas. So the Earth is a big old gene soup of people migrating over a period of time of hundreds of thousands of years. So were the Olmecs black? We don't know. Were they from Africa? We don't know. We have no idea. So instead of trying to put your stamp on it because of your racial preference, just say we don't know, like we don't know, because we don't know. And y'all have a great day. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibration.